Welcome back to Just Ask Mrs. Hurlbut. This is episode 10. I can't believe it. We're at episode 10.
Double
and
digits.
Things have changed. We have a little switcheroo. I'm super excited to tell you that for the first time we have an actual guest, an in-person guest, our expert guest. So before I introduce her, I just want to tell you that our topic today is going to be about parents and cutting the cord as you leave home for the first time and live on your own. And she's a perfect guest for this topic. So let me introduce my friend Pam. Hi, Pam.
Hey, Kimmy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Pam Tronson. I am a certified life coach. I'm a certified mother-daughter coach, and I specialize in working with parents, moms particularly, who want to have a better relationship with their adult daughters. Now, I say adult daughters, that's when we get really fine-tuned, but there's nothing that we're going to talk about that won't also apply, I think, for sons as well.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally
and
agree.
for dads. I have a lot of dads who tune in, and I actually have a few clients that I work with regularly who are dads as well. So,
Well, and I actually received an email from a parent, which was really surprising to me. I don't have it word for word, but essentially it's a parent of two of my former students who are both away at school, and this mom was asking, how do I offer support to them? How can I be there for them even though I am geographically not where they are? Do you remember what some of the other things were that she asked about? I guess I could take a look at it, but we felt pretty confident that we'd have plenty to say without reading all the questions. So let's talk about what it means to be a student who is now moved on from high school, living on his or her own, and also the role of the parent in that scenario, because many parents behave differently.
of course.
And many students, also the child also behaves differently. So we have the gamut of overbearing parents. We have the worried parent, the judgmental parent. That there's a whole list, and there's also the kids. Some can be trusted more than others to be left to their own accord.
Sure.
So, why don't you tell me?
Well, wait. I want
Yeah.
to say one. I want to build on what you just said.
Okay, please.
I want everybody to be so crystal clear about the idea there is no one right way to do this.
So true.
There just isn't. And as a parent, we come to this whole motherhood, parenthood thing, bathed in, steeped in our own experiences and our own DNA and what we witnessed as kids and our experiences as we've developed and grown alongside of y'all. So we bring all that to it. But it's unique. No one is having the same experience. I mean, we've been
And no
friends.
two experiences are the same.
We've been friends for so long. Wildly different experiences. And you all, as kids, you all have your very specific, unique experiences based on your family of origin, based on your teachers, based on the things that light you up, based on your friend group. So one of the most important things I think to always keep in mind is that there is no one way to do this. Mm-hmm. There's just your way to do it. And one of the things that I think is so important is learning how to have your own back. Like learning how to be comfortable being you. And those aren't just light, easy, la-di-da words. That's something.
So true.
I coach women in their 50s, 60s, 70s. That's still the thing they're focusing on doing. That's still the thing that seems to be paramount.
But that takes me back to that kid who's heading out, having had his or her own experiences, parents having whatever their familial experiences have been. But I believe that there's so much value in front-loading whatever you can. So that's what I'd love to hear from you about is what can you do before your child leaves, or what can a child do before he or she sets off on their own to sort of articulate what they think their needs are going to be with the parent, what they think the plan might be, what what is everybody's role in this huge life change? Nobody should, and I said this many times before, no one should go into that without having had some sort of discussion about what it's going to look like.
Oh, I agree completely. And the thing that I always say is that expectations are resentments waiting to happen. Right?
You know, I can't believe you just said that, because our last episode was exactly
Oh, really?
about, well,
Oh,
it was
that's
about
so funny.
trying to change people.
Yeah.
Expectations can be very problematic.
Yeah.
They're problems waiting to happen, almost exactly what I just
Oh, yeah.
said.
And changing people, controlling people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch episode 9.
Watch episode 9.
So what do you say to a student then who's heading out on their own? They come from a very strict household, and they're super worried about a parent not giving them the space that they need.
Yeah. Well,
What do you tell the parent?
yeah, and it's an interesting thing, because I think having that conversation ahead of time, like you were talking about, being
Key.
able to like open up the dialogue ahead of time, I think is huge. But here's the deal: you're not likely going to know what it is you really need until you get there.
Yeah.
So to be able to start the dialogue with, you know what, Mom? I don't really know what it's going to be like. I have no idea. I have this vision of what it's going to be like, but I don't know what it's going to be like. And I would like to establish going forward a place where we can have some gray area, where we can be flexible, where we can be open to it, where we can be adaptable, and we don't have to be rigid. That would be the thing that would be really helpful to me, because you guys want to create the environment for you where you can learn, where you can explore. This is such a beautiful time. You and I were talking about that earlier. It was like, you know, kindergarten was that place where your parents had to let go of you and have faith and trust that you would be okay. And it was a hard time for us. But now we're in this place where we again have to step into that place of faith and trust. To have you go be an adult, which is exactly what you're supposed to be practicing doing.
And it should be the fruits of your labor as a parent to say, all right, I've done my job. I can only hope and pray that they have some valuable lessons that they're taking with them.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the hardest things as parents, and this isn't about, you don't have to take care of this part of your parent, but one of the hardest things as a parent is realizing that the job well done is when you guys don't need us anymore. And we're wired, most moms, we're wired to be needed.
Right, so parents need to give kids that space, but kids need to prove that they can handle that space.
Yeah.
Whether they did it before or whether they're doing it during, that's, I guess, depends on the family dynamic.
Yeah.
But then what happens when you don't set those boundaries and the parent is constantly checking in?
But I'm bouncing back when proving feels as though it's right or wrong, black or white. You either do or you don't. I like to think that there's practice there. And the way we can still build trust in the practice is being able to express ourselves and say, you know what, I thought this was going to be the right course to take or the right thing to get involved in or whatever. And I'm at that place where I realize it's not. Like that kind of open communication, I think, helps build that.
Absolutely.
That it's the practice, because you're never going to get it right all the time. Never, ever, ever. Well, and even just the idea that like life by nature, it's not always about getting it right.
No, absolutely.
I coach all the time and to say that life is a 50-50 balance of the times when it's really amazing and the times where it's just really hard. And understanding that the time, like when you're amidst a time where it's hard and granular and you feel like you're just up against something that won't, or you can't find anything that yields to what it is you want, nothing's gone wrong.
And those are moments of growth.
Yeah.
So when things don't go well and you're away at school, how does a child assure the parent that everything's fine, or vice versa? Like, how do you, I remember more than once having children away who were really struggling with whatever the issue was, and being torn between, do I hop on a plane and just go there?
Yeah.
Or do I give them all the space in the world to figure this out on their own?
Yeah, and I think that again is different, different ideas. But I would like to think that call comes from the student, not from when I have been amidst many times in my life as a mom. I have a 25 and a 28-year-old. Our kids are, actually, we were pregnant at the same time. It's kind of fun.
Twice
we were pregnant at the same time. But I have, there's been many times where I've been like, that's it. Where's the, I get online. Okay, there's a flight that leaves in 4 hours. I can make it to the airport in 4 hours. And I don't want to call it overreacting, but I think you guys have the ability to be able to make that call. I think.
So did one of your kids say to you, don't do that?
No, I actually had the wherewithal to kind of pull back and then call again and say, I can be there in, 10 hours. And they'd be like, nah.
Don't, yeah.
You're okay.
One of the things I did was I called the school to see what resources were available. And that was helpful so that I could say, all right, there is a counselor at the basement of your dorm. All you got to do, I'm not going to make that call for you.
Yep.
Here are the hours. Here's the number. If you think you need this, there it is. But
and you know who that makes feel better?
Everybody. Well, yeah, I keep doing that. I'm not used to the lapel mic. Yes, it definitely makes me feel better because I knew that if need be, that phone call could be made by somebody else. Yeah. I don't even know if it was ever used. Yeah. But it just helped me to know, because I'm a problem solver. I'm a fixer. Oh. One of our whole last episode, the question about fixing came up. I get that. I try to be a fixer.
Absolutely. Well, and it's a wonderful quality that a lot of amazing moms have. But it's also one of those things that I think for you as the sons and daughters, like having a mom as a fixer, there's certain times where that's awesome because mama can get things done. Right. And there's times when I just was on a call not long ago and we were talking about when things are hard and you're going through something and you don't really need someone to fix what you're going through. You just need someone to come sit in the mud beside you and experience it with you. And it can be hard when you have a mom who's a fixer, who wants to just, oh no, I can make a phone call and make that all go away. It often, we were talking a lot about validation today and how important that is for parents to be able to understand. Your parents might not do it really well. I think we all as humans, we want to be felt, we want to be seen, we want to be heard. Those are normal needs that you have. And it's important to find that in, it's a skill for your parents to learn. Not all of them, not everybody has it right. But validation also comes from being able to, like for you guys to be able to learn how to validate yourself. Like in the moment to go, oh gosh, I'm so confused, or I'm so frustrated, or I'm so angry, and then go, oh, well, no, duh, sorry. Bleep. Yeah, right. No, but it's like, well, of course I feel angry. Look what's going on. Of course I feel frustrated. Why wouldn't I feel frustrated? To be able to validate, to self-validate, I think is a really important skill to learn. And to be able to understand maybe where the feelings are coming from. Yeah. Like that's the thing, heading to school. It's like being able to have conversations that might even seem fluffy in the beginning, but just to be able to say, hey, listen, it's almost kind of like you probably addressed long-term or trying to maintain a
long-distance relationship.
Thank you.
Also a topic that we covered. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I said it over and over again. Establish the rules and the boundaries way before you leave.
Yeah.
So there's no confusion.
Similar kind of thing with your parents, except that you're going to both have to have wiggle room, because it's not so, it's a different kind of relationship than it is with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend. And I think being able to even just have a conversation where you say, you know what, Mom, this is going to be brand new to me. It's going to be brand new to you. You guys have had a relationship where you've seen each other every day of your life.
Right now, there's all these added uncontrolled variables.
Yeah.
And you have to trust each other to navigate that without having to check in.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Well, and I know many women who come to me who tell me that, yeah, they still have conversations with their daughters every day. More often, I have women who come to me who say, I want to talk to her 3 or 4 times a week and have deep conversations, and all I get is the news, weather, and sports, and the highlights, and I want a deep conversation, and plus she only wants to call me once a week.
Okay.
What the heck?
Those are expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you can preempt the hard feelings, and you don't even maybe it's more that maybe you don't leave it up kind of like in a loosey-goosey way, but you just say, okay, let's start off with 3 days a week and see how that feels.
Which is, in my opinion, very generous.
Oh, heavens yes.
I would say every Sunday evening, wrap up the week, look forward to the next week, have a great week, I love you, I'll call you if there's an emergency.
And you know what? I would like to think that that's normal. But it's your normal.
It's
it's
my
normal.
Exactly.
And so finding your normal, you might want to talk to your parents more often. There might be, like, it's not necessarily a one-sided, it's not always just the moms going.
Right.
So finding something that works for you, finding something that works for your parents, and then agreeing to be flexible.
Yeah, flexibility.
I think that's really
huge.
flexibility
it's
is power.
uncharted territory, especially your first year if you're going away to school. Yeah. You want, as a child, you want to know that your parents will be there for you no matter what, but they won't be taking over your life or coddling you or micromanaging you.
Oh yeah.
None of those are going to work.
And I want to say too, it's not up to you to manage your parents' feelings, because you
Super
can
important.
really get a little, like, I don't think it sets up a healthy relationship between you and your parents. I don't think it sets up a healthy relationship between you and you. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole idea, if you're female, people pleasing, you know, it's like wired into us almost, you know, wanting to take care of everybody else's feelings before we take care of us. Oops. We have to be able to take care of us.
And this is the whole reason I'm doing this, is because my students will look at me and go, you don't understand how badly some of us need this. I said, okay, well, ask away. And which is why you're here, because you bring in literally not even the opposite, but the complementary perspective to the audience I'm speaking to.
Yeah, and you know, the thing too is that one of the words that I see thrown around all the time that gets me a little bit, I don't know, makes me a little uncomfortable is the way we throw the word boundaries around.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
Yeah, because I have, and I'm not saying that the world should respond to boundaries according to Pam.
I will.
But boundaries to me are an act of self-respect.
Preach.
Right? And it's a way for, there's some beautiful quote that I wish I could remember, but it's a way for you and I to both, like when we have boundaries, it's a way for you and I to maintain clarity in our relationship so we can alleviate some of the misunderstandings, the things that don't get said. And to me, a boundary it can be beautiful, but so often, you know, I get the mom side of it, but I worked for a long time with the daughters as well, and it's not punitive. Too many people see it as
So true.
punitive way to control people. That's the other thing that comes up right? Oh no, you're not respecting my boundaries. Well, first and foremost, would you articulate what the boundary is? Because I don't know no one ever really shared a boundary. There's a lot of assumed boundaries that seem to be floating around. I think it's really important to have clarity in what your boundary actually is. It helps you.
Especially with yourself.
Oh, exactly, right?
Yes, it's one thing to articulate it to somebody else, but you got to own it and believe it yourself. So the minute you stray from that, you can catch yourself without the help of a parent, without the help of anybody else in any other relationship, and say, "Oh, this is what I said I was, or what I wasn't open to doing or saying." It's so important. You got to stay true to yourself and your belief and your boundaries.
Absolutely. And setting a boundary, like when we're talking about communication, setting a boundary around communication might look like, hey, Mom, I'd like to have, I'm going to go all hurlbut on you, and I'm going to have, I want my boundary is that one call a week, unless it's an emergency, like that's what I would like to have. And it's an act of respect, because maybe you feel, maybe you feel as though you've been, no one's respecting your space, or that they're intruding, or whatever it is. I've seen it happen in so many different ways. But so you set a boundary that love to have a phone call with you. Let's do it on Sundays, once a week, unless there's an emergency.
And you got to stay true to that, even if the adult.
And the boundary is, if you call me other than Sunday night, I'm not going to pick up. Yikes. And that's going to bring up guilt. It's going to bring up
resentment.
Well, on the mom side, if it.
Oh, guilt on the child's side.
Yeah, guilt on the child's side.
So what about the parent who feels, there's that word feeling again, but who believes because they're fiscally responsible for that child, they call the shots. And I can get you, I'll pull that tuition check and that dorm check and get you home if you don't honor my wishes.
Yeah, and I've seen that happen. I've gotten real close to that a number of times, actually. I that's been brought forward. And I guess if that is the parent feels as though that's their right to control the shots. I mean, they do at the end of the day have, they have that's a card that's in their hand.
Absolutely. But how heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, would I recommend using it? No. But it's also like, I think we can calm things down before we get there.
Absolutely. I think that's a great wrap up line is calm things down before they get there. So in the final analysis, the way to support a child who's leaving you would be to prepare for that with the child. Decide on what fair and reasonable boundaries are, or the plan is, or the level to which they are involved in each other's lives. That would all be stuff they need to tackle before.
Yeah, and the thing is, y'all might not have parents who are very good at that.
That's my biggest concern.
There's a lot of us parents. I mean, we're special. But there's a lot of parents of this generation. We are not good communicators. We are not good at speaking out and saying what we want. Women in general, I mean, moms, there's a lot of history we have about being everything to everybody all the time and never thinking about our own needs, all that stuff.
But also entitlement. There's a lot of that too.
Entitlement of?
Just the entitlement of, you are my child and you owe me this.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way. And I was going to be like, oh
no.
No. Oh no. Because that's the thing. There's nothing that drives me. I shouldn't say that.
One of the things
that makes me a little crazy is when parents are talking about, like, it'll be one of the words that describes this generation of kids is entitlement. That's where the word popped up. Makes me nutty. Mm-hmm. Because it is in my opinion, maybe there is some entitlement going on the from the child's standpoint. But mom and dad are acting very entitled as well.
Right.
But what I want to say is that there is there's an opportunity if you have a parent, a mom, and or your dad who are not very good about having those what can feel like sticky conversations. It's not that we want to throw you into the role of the adult, but don't be afraid to bring them up.
All you can do is try.
Yeah. And if you find as though you feel like your mom's just way too involved, try to have the conversation. I really do think it's a lovely conversation to have face to face.
I agree 100%.
I think it'll work to
Much
your
more
advantage.
beneficial.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I think it's going to be it's a more efficient way to get the message across, to be able to say, "Hey, Mom, can we just talk about this before we go? I have no idea what my life's going to look like there. I want to experience it all. I love you, and I want to always be able to have you as my ace in the hole and my confidant, and I know you've got my back, and I want to be able to experience this." And I don't mean this in a demeaning way, but in this adulting thing.
Right.
On my own. I want to be able to figure this out. And for me right now, that feels like, maybe if it does, not communicating as often.
And as a parent, boy, I would want to honor that. But again, everyone's different.
Yeah. No, everybody gets to work out the thing that works best for them. But I wouldn't be afraid of it if you're concerned about it as a kid, as the son or the daughter, and you're a little concerned that you're aware that you've got a mom or a dad that's a little overbearing, just to say, "Hey, can we talk about protocol once I'm gone? Can we talk about communication and your expectations, just so I know your expectations on how often and when and what feels right for you?" Like I think that's a really healthy thing. And if you have parents that aren't going to bring that conversation up,
It might have to be you.
yeah, and that might not be the way it should be. But if that's your reality, that's your reality. And if it's something that's concerning you, take care of yourself.
No. Amen,
Right?
sister.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for being here, Pam. What a nice treat. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. Talk to you soon.